Hey, hey, everybody. Thanks for waiting. I know we're a little bit late. We just wanted to make sure that things were working, but I'm so happy. I see things are working in the chat. Things are showing that we're live. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All the things. Steph is joining me for the Hardy Boys RPG. So we don't generally do a ton of RPGs. We try to. Steph is our resident RPG person on the channel. So she looks at a lot of solo RPGs, but we try to do one every month or a couple of months as a group. So today we're going to do the Hardy Boys RPG, which can be played solo or with another player. So yeah, so I don't know if you all have heard of it, seen it. I'll put it up so you can see. I'm going to run it this time. When I say run it, it's not really. I'm really just reading from the book and we're doing some prompts together and that's as far as it goes, okay? Steph is the person who usually runs it because doing the stream and running, it's really hard to do. So we tried to keep it easy breezy. So Steph, I've been talking a lot. How are you? How's the solo RPG going? The world of solo
Oh
RPGs.
my god, the world of solo RPG is doing great. Which is a bit of a problem because then I start playing. But the issue with reviewing often is that you have to like play for a bit, then move on to something else. But sometimes there's games I'm like, but I'm not done. And this is where I've been for a while because I
Right?
got the dungeon expansion for oh my god, blanking.
Uh,
Colossal.
Colossal. I was about to
Colossal.
say Colossal. I know that's one you like.
Yes. Yeah. So I've been like, yes, there a lot.
I know
Spending
that's
all
one
my
you like.
time in Colossal.
No, I know that's one you like, and I really need to get to it. I'm trying to work my way through them, so that is one. For me, I'm like, I just need to start it. I think I'm just struggling to start, and I think once I start, I'll be fine. It was like Thousand-Year-Old Vampire. Like I was like, and then I'm like, oh, I'm so into it, you know. So, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But all that to say, we'll be back with more. We've got Critical Foundation coming up, and we're also going to do a thing where we just run through some of the RPGs we're looking forward to playing or coming up, that sort of thing. So what is James saying? I can't even run. Is that like I don't know if there was
A
more.
pun? I think it's a pun. Who's
Got it.
running?
Oh, fair. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, we won't keep you all too much. We're gonna jump. Okay.
See, I got you, Jess.
Steph
I
already
got
knew.
you.
Steph was on it. Apparently, I was not.
It's okay. You're busy running the thing. My whole brain is into this. Like, it's
No,
fine.
it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good when you have friends in the chat. They help you out with stuff. So, all right, we're gonna switch to the next screen scene, whatever. This is where I gotta switch microphones. It's just gonna look a little different. So let's do this one. Heyo, new camera, new microphone. Yes, it's not as fancy as the other microphone, but as long as you can hear me, that's all that counts.
Well,
Steph, can we hear you?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
just
hear
gonna.
you, which is a good sign.
Okay, good. Yes, that is a plus. All right, so just making sure no one's too loud. Turn me down a little bit. The microphone's like right in front of my face, so I don't want to yell in your ear. Okay, so again, let us know if you can or can't hear us. It's good. And we'll go from there. So we've kind of set things up a little bit already. And we've got a grid of cards, and we're going to talk about this once we progress into the story. Off screen, you can see some of my tools and books and things like that as we run it. And you'll see we've got some suspects lined up, and and then we have some locations. So yes, James, it is card driven. You can use the dice to help with like prompts, but it's the cards are what are going to help us get through the investigation, so to speak. Yeah, and you just need a standard deck of cards. So something that has, your red suits, your black suits, faces. We're not going to use those, but we're going to talk about that as we go. So where shall I? This is Stephanie's area of expertise. So I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of background because not everybody knows who the Hardy Boys are. The Hardy Boys are Frank and Joe. Steph, did you read the Hardy Boys at all?
Well, yes, but not as a child. It's just my husband's been reading them to my kids.
Ah, okay.
So it was actually very amused when I told him we're playing a Hardy Board RPG. He's like,
Okay.
"Oh, we could play it with the girls someday," and I'm like, "Maybe."
Okay, see? So this is good. I think it would be good because they said you can make the scenarios more family
Oh, by the
friendly.
way, this is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
You
Bob's
see
going to
Bob?
join us potentially on our mystery. Okay, so I'm going to do a little read from the beginning. It's just like a little page here to give you all the background, especially for those who don't know the Hardy Boys, and then we'll get into a little bit of the game and how it works as we continue. All right. So before the Scooby Gang, Buffy or Velma, before Cam Jensen, before Encyclopedia Brown, before even Nancy Drew, there were the Hardy Boys. You might be forgiven for thinking Frank and Joe Hardy were twins. Apart from the fact that Frank has dark hair and Joe has blonde, they look nearly alike. And there's a photo here for you. All right, they look nearly alike. Well, they look pretty identical there. But you get the idea. They also think and act much alike. While Frank is a bit more thoughtful and Joe is a bit more impulsive, they rarely actually disagree with each other, much less get into a fight. America's favorite kid detectives are a perfect team, always working in sync to figure out the mysteries they take it upon themselves to solve. Frank and Joe are clever, inquisitive, and don't shy away from pulling a prank, especially if it's tricky and gets someone to reveal some information. They're both physically fit and pay attention to their health. While they most likely can't go toe-to-toe with an adult one-on-one in a fair fight, they would get the drop on one or overpower him by fighting as a pair if they absolutely have to. You might have grown up with a version of the boy detectives where they're impeccably well-mannered and go on G-rated adventures with their equally polite chums. So that's the 1950s bowdlerized rewrite of the Hardy Boys, okay? The original Hardy Boys from 1927 were pranksters and rule breakers who don't trust the police to solve anything that requires actual brain power. In the 50s, the original stories were rewritten to better fit with a post-war sensibility of sanitizing all children's entertainment. Same cultural trends that had Silver Age of comic books replaced the Golden Age and pushed horror films out of the mainstream and into the drive-ins. In the 50s, when the Hardy Boys needed to delay a cop from interfering with their father's interrogation of a suspect, they line up all their friends and force them to have a short, polite conversation with them in turn. In the 20s, when the Hardys needed to delay the police in the same story, they give the example of the Tower Treasure, they built a fake pipe bomb out of some lengths of pipe and clock and called in an anonymous bomb threat. So, this game is about the 1920s version of the Hardy Boys. Stir up a ruckus and cause problems around town if that's what you need to solve the mystery. But nobody is gonna. So, hey, Eclectic Camel, how are you doing? And thanks for popping in. I know I don't want to get into too many details. I don't know what you want to talk about, but David's in the part of the world where it's burning.
Oh.
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you, James. It was better for me too. So David, I hope you're okay. And I meant to text you after I just had the stream, so I'll pop in. Yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, oh, yeah. We'll talk after, but yeah, for those who are not aware, and please correct me, David, it's not just LA. Is it just LA or are there other surrounding areas that currently are being affected by the fire? So there are a lot of people who are being, they're not in their homes and, in hotels or other areas. And I'm sure this is really stressful for you, family, if you have pets, anything like that. So please stay safe. And gosh, I did not expect you to be on stream at all, but I appreciate the support.
By the way, my husband's a firefighter for the city of Ottawa,
There you
and
go.
they got a call out to ask should the province and the call be made who the volunteers would be to go help fight the fires in LA.
Right.
And last time that I asked my husband about it, there was 300 volunteers in Ottawa. So,
Wow, really? Oh, that's
we're
great.
behind you. uh, I'm not sure what goes into like internationally asking for firefighting helps, but like sort
Yeah.
of a little bit of an informal call that's happened in the city where we are anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry. So David corrected me here. It's Los Angeles County, which is bigger than LA City, includes a lot of cities. Okay, so there you go. See, that's something I didn't know. So, I'm assuming it's rather large and affecting quite a few people. So glad that you have some support on our side here. I know Canada on a whole, yes, is providing a lot of assistance. So that's really great that they're able to come out and help as well. So we appreciate you being here, but like totally understand if you have other important things to do. So, but I do appreciate you being here. So we talked about the background of the Hardy Boys. Then we talk about Fenton. This is really short, and Fenton Hardy is their father, who is a famous detective. So the father of Joe and Frank. He's very proud of them. He feels a bit protective of them. Solving petty crimes at school is one thing, but going after these adult criminals in the real world, gotta stay safe. So if they grow up to be professional detectives, they need to stand on their own four legs. Fenton won't solve their cases for them, but he will give advice when asked for it, though not too much on any one case. So they're on their own for the most part. We're not going to get too much into this, but in the book, they have their chums, which are their friends. There is a way to play with them in the game. I personally, and Steph, you can jump in on this, I did not find it intuitive to add them. Like, I wasn't understanding how to do it based on the explanation, but they do have their friends that you can kind of question and add to this tableau as well. So,
Yeah, I think it would work. Like it's basically making use of the face card and you associate a friend with each of the face cards. But I think it's, and then based on the suits you draw, then they have a different role in the scene.
right.
So I think it's designed to help, generate prompts because it just gives a bit more direction perhaps or like a specific thing. But I agree that for a first play, it might be a little easier without because even I reading the instruction, I'm like, I'm not sure how it would actually play out.
Right, right.
So it was hard to uh,
It, yeah,
to
I know what you
imagine.
mean. Exactly. I'm like, wait, I know the word. It's not going to, I know what you mean.
Okay, yeah, my first language is French. Okay, I'm just gonna hide behind that.
No, yeah, I got what you mean. But yes, so we're not going to be playing with the chums, but they do have that as an option. We are going to be playing in the town of Bayport, and I will put the map up for you to see. So this is the town of Bayport, and it is the town that Frank and Joe live in and where their mysteries will take place. A farming community on the eastern coast of the United States and surrounding Barmet Bay. Its location makes it a perfect spot for smugglers to bring in goods, counterfeiters to set up shop somewhere they won't think they'll be noticed, and for thieves to hide their ill-gotten gains. With the town itself surrounded by farms and abandoned buildings, the old tower mansion, dramatic cliffs, hidden caves, and dangerous waves, there are secrets lurking around every corner in this isolated village. The Bayport has a number of distinctive locations around town, though only a few are important in any given story. You'll make up 4, is what we're going to be doing in the game that we're playing. So we're going to be making up, you can see the town there, we're going to be making 4 locations, and we're also going to be creating 4 suspects. Okay, so this is the town for now. So actually, I can leave the town up while we determine what our locations are, and then we'll go on to making our suspects. All right, so ready, Steph. Let's see, what are we doing here? We need to. What is a local landmark that sure looks like it's abandoned? So it says to create a location like the old house on the cliff or the old mill or the overgrown farm. And chat, if there are people in the chat and you have ideas, please feel free to put those in and we'll definitely take that into consideration. So I'll repeat, we're trying to create a location like an old house on a cliff, an old mill, an overgrown farm, something that's a local landmark that looks abandoned. And I'll write it down after so you'll see it when I go back to the other screen, what that location is.
Well, I think the old mill's already on the map, so we could go with that.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. Chat, if you have anything to
Nice abandoned
add.
mill. Plus, I can just imagine some like bunch of stacked, dusty like packages of some kind. It could be easy to
Yeah.
store stuff.
So I'll put
Sorry.
that location 1 we're going to put as the old mill. Is that good?
Uh-huh.
And you'll see this after I've taken it off. Okay, and then location 2. What's a location owned by a rich local? So we need to create a location like the Tower Mansion or the department store or Main Street. Tower Mansion, department store, or Main Street. I'm trying to see what's on. Loblaws. All right, back to the location. So what's a location owned by a rich local? So create a location. We could do Loblaws. I mean, hey, it's or we could do a grocery store. What would you say?
I mean, I'm okay with a grocery store called Loblaws.
Okay, so we'll put, for those who don't know what that is, I'll just put grocery store. Don't worry, you'll see this in a minute. Loblaws. Yes, for those who don't know, it is a very strange name.
I guess it is, eh?
It is. Okay. So the next location is what's a location where one of your chums lives? Gain a location like mechanic shop, a farm, or a houseboat. Let me see. I mean, I'm always up for a good farm.
Yeah, me too. I feel like
Yeah,
a lot could happen on a farm.
I agree. Lots of places for creepy things. So we'll put farm. And then for the last location, what's a local transit hub? So gain a location like the train station, the port, or the airport. I'm almost thinking like, I don't know. I'm kind of going toward a train station because of
I
the
like train
time era.
station. It's very, yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. As long as you're good with that. So train station. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And now we've got our locations. And then we have to do our suspects. All right. So, James, feel free to jump in for suspects. Who is a local prominent citizen? Gain a suspect like a school teacher, richest guy in town, or the chief of police.
I think the owner of Loblaws should be on there.
Okay. I mean, that would make sense. So let's do what are we going to put him as the first suspect?
Well, he's
We can.
prominent.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
quite rich.
Yeah, so owner.
Galen Weston? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll just put owner of Loblaw so I don't get in trouble or something. So
Okay,
you
how
never
about
know these days. Yeah, Galen Weston. So we know who that is. We'll leave that there, but we'll just put like, yeah, we'll leave that like that. Who just arrived in town? Gain a suspect like a traveling salesman, a vagrant, or a couple who just bought an abandoned building.
Oh, yeah, let's get the couple
Yes, with the
who just
abandoned
bought
building.
the old mill, you know?
Okay, so yeah, so let's do couple who bought old mill. Okay, and now
Well, we do that, you know?
Okay, suspect number 3. Which of your friend's parents have gotten in trouble recently? So gain a suspect like, so these are some of the chums that we didn't really talk about as much. Perry's dad, the manservant who works in the mansion, or Tony's parents who own a construction company, or surprisingly Nancy, the goody two-shoes mom, the homemaker.
How about the guy who owns a construction company?
Okay, yeah, so that's let's see, Tony's parents, as
Yeah.
they say. So let's put that. So Tony's parents. I'll just put, I don't have enough room, so I'll just put construction company. Okay, don't worry, David. We'll catch you up once we finish. So right now we're just creating the suspect. So this is the map of the Bayport area. We're now just, we created some locations and we're creating suspects. So I'll go back over it after we finish this last one. So the last suspect, we get to pick one of the questions above and ask it again. So either there's another prominent citizen who's a suspect, or someone else new in town, or another friend's parents, or another chum's parents. Do we want writing the cease and desist now? I just saw that. So do we want another prominent figure? In chat, feel free to jump in. Do we want another prominent figure in there? And that's so you could have some like rich versus rich competition. I mean, I feel that's kind of happening now. I mean, be the easiest one to do.
Yeah, let's go with that. Maybe a developer?
Yeah, that sounds good. Like a, yeah. So we'll just put a rich developer. Okay, so let me take the map off. So if we need the map at another time, let me know. I'll pop it back up. For right now, I'm going to take it off so you can actually see. And it looks like I will have to pull up
well
my
done,
little...
Mandi.
Now, but now I got to pull up my locations because they got a little cut off there. So we'll just do this. Slather up a bit. And so you can all see them. Okay. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. I think the Loblaws might be cut off, but that might not be a bad thing. We know what we're talking about, but, you know. Okay, there
I
we go.
don't think they're listening.
Yeah, you never know. They're always listening. Okay, I'm just joking. Okay, so... Okay, so for David, who kind of probably jumped out and jumped back in quickly, because I'm sure you're not the only one who's confused, we had to set the scene for the Bayport town. So those were some of the prompts I was reading. We have the suspects, we have the owner of Loblaws, and because you're American, you're like, what the heck is Loblaws? It is a grocery store. So we have the rich owner of a grocery store. Loblaws here, the person who owns it, has lots of money. There are things that are going on around that, but I will let you read that story for another day. But owner of Loblaws, owner of a grocery store. Suspect number 2, or it's the couple who bought the old mill in town. Suspect number 3 are Tony's parents, and they own a construction company. Suspect number 4 is a rich developer. So those are our suspects. locations. We have the old mill. We have the grocery store, blah, blah. We have a farm, and we have the train station. So when we are now going to look into investigating these areas a bit more, this is what we are looking at, suspects and areas. So we've got that down. This is called the mystery grid. So the mystery grid has been created. So what to make this mystery grid, for those who are interested in actually trying to play this game at some point, you're going to be taking 16 cards out of your deck. And it's 10 black, 6 red, and we're going to be this is how this is created. So we make 4 piles, with one with 4 black cards, one with 3 black, 1 red, one with 2 black, 2 red, one with 1 red, 1 black. And then we shuffle each pile individually, mix the piles so we don't know which pile is what, and then we put them in this display, making sure that the distribution is exactly how I've read it for each row. David saying anybody who buys a mill is up to crime. Maybe it depends how it goes, right? Depends what cards are there. So based on the grid, we're going to be taking turns investigating location and or suspects. We determine if someone is guilty if they have 3 red cards and 1 black card. So the red cards, I don't want to say, they don't necessarily represent guilt, but they definitely, you can be made to look guilty potentially with those prompts, versus black, again, doesn't mean you're innocent, but it is a more innocent kind of prompt for you to use. So the suspect will have 3 red cards and 1 black card. So that is up to us to investigate to find that out, but we only have a certain amount of time to do it. I think we're going to play, are we playing on like normal mode?
I think we should.
Yeah, so if we're
I think
playing
that
normal,
was 5 turns, right?
Yes, 5 for normal, 6 for easy.
Perfect.
So
let's try normal. Let's
yeah,
challenge ourselves.
we're gonna try and find the culprit before then. So we've created our mystery grid. Cards are face down. As we investigate, they will get flipped up. The numbers and everything don't mean anything. It's the colors of the card that matter. Okay. So before we even get to that, we still need to discover the crime. So we need to determine, and this is where David's on the crime track there. Maybe James is in there as well. Discover the crime, as in, what is going to be, we're going to describe the crime, how it was discovered, how the 4 suspects came under suspicion, and how the locations may or may not be involved. Okay. So if we're doing a family-friendly game, they recommend smuggling, theft, or counterfeiting. For a more adult-oriented game, they could say maybe kidnapping, murder, or arson. So, oh, Slivers is still there. Hey, Slivers. So, chat, feel free to chime in. Steph, I don't know if you have thoughts on the scenario that we'd like to do.
Really? All right.
Well, there you go.
Murder.
I was gonna say, I saw that. Murder.
All right. How about the murder of the local carpenter?
Oh, I watched Traitors last night. I don't even know what that is, but I'm guessing there was some murder happening. But yes, I like that stuff. So we're gonna do, there's gonna be a murder of the local carpenter. Let me write this down in my little book here. Oh, where's my little pen? I have to keep notes as well, everybody. Otherwise, I'm going to forget things. So it's the murder of the local carpenter. Okay. So, and this is good because the carpenter is going to be the person, right, that's potentially helping fix up some of these places, or he would, or I shouldn't say they, because we don't know what we've decided there. They could technically have come into contact with all of these people. Was the carpenter making like shady deals maybe, or making deals with too many people and people got jealous? I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, I don't know, but I feel like a carpenter could have a lot of potential. I think what we should go right now is, oh, okay. Well, since we have all this potential, we could say that perhaps the carpenter was actually murdered on the farm where he lived.
Okay, so let's say the carpenter was murdered on the farm.
So I think the first thing we should do is go to the farm.
Okay, so let's just, let me just make sure we got all the stuffs here. So how it was discovered. Okay, so yeah, that's right. So yeah, so first things first. Oh, James is like, yep, indeed, that headset is dying. Because it goes in and
It's
out.
doing its best.
It
I'm
goes it
sorry.
it's okay, it goes in and out. Yeah. David's like, it just went wild. Yeah, it goes in and out, so you'll find, and then it starts to do it, and then it goes away. It's weird. It's okay.
I feel bad. My cat wasn't even eating the wire or anything.
It happens. It is what it is. I was gonna say, do you have like Apple headphones?
No.
Okay, don't worry about it. We'll
Trying
make
to
it
think
work.
of.
Okay, bye, David. Thanks for popping on. We appreciate you dropping in. It's okay, Steph. It's not constant. It just kind of comes in and out. So we'll just make it work. No worries. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
It happens. It happens. I don't think it's all good. So, okay. So to recap, murder of a local carpenter. The carpenter was murdered on the farm where he lived. We are going to obviously want to visit and find out, like, how was it discovered? How how did we're going to determine how the four suspects became part of this and how the body was discovered. James is like, no, it's okay, James. No, James is not bothered, by the way, by the echo at all. Just saying, he's just trying to help. So no, not at all. It's okay. And if anything, it's more for the stream. Like we're just worried about people's, because some people are sensitive to that sort of thing. We just want to make sure that we're not causing that for anybody. But no, if it's not terrible, it's good. Yeah, so we appreciate it. Okay, so do we want to go into more detail about this crime now, or do we want to kind of start moving forward? What would you like to do, Steph?
Well, I think we should move forward and scope out the location.
All right, let's do that. So these are some of the things that we can do. So this will be kind of the last bit of explanation before we jump into it. Hey, weird guy of games. That is Christian, probably, I'm guessing.
I approve the username.
I love James. Like, that was perfect sound. Yeah, I just turned it down to like 13%, by the way. Like, what the heck? But yes, thanks for popping in. I'm so glad all my things are working. This is great. Well, except for my post. I'm a little salty about that. Okay, so scoping out a location and tailing a suspect. Those are the two actions we could do. I won't go into too many details now. We'll explain it as we do it because we want to try and get into the story and we want to find some clues. Okay, so Steph, do you want to take a first turn? I know you were saying you wanted to
go to the farm, the place of the crime.
The place of the crime. So this
As the oldest of the two brothers, I get to choose first.
Okay, fair. So you get to right. So now this is great because we're going to use some prompts for this, and hopefully find some incriminating evidence. So you've decided to pick a location, the farm, and we're going to turn up 2 face down cards at that location. So 1 in each 2 different suspect rows. So
start with suspect number 1.
So suspect number 1. So the card is, sorry. It's a bit of a stretch. So that is black, a spade.
Okay, so the owner of Loblaws.
Yeah.
Seems to have some exonerating evidence.
Okay.
Do you want to read that prompt first, then we flip the other?
Sure, we can totally do that. Okay, it is Christian, by the way. Oh, Christian mentioned in RPG, by the way, Steph, that cat one is coming up.
Oh, like be like a cat?
I think so. No, it's a different one. He'll write it in the chat there.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a black card. So now we have to do a prompt. So we're rolling unless you want to roll your own die, up to you.
I did not come
nope,
prepared.
No, it's okay. I have them here and the dice are huge and chunky, so I apologize in advance if this is not a good roll. So the the owner of Loblaws is at the farm. So I rolled, I'm assuming the cat paw is not a 10, that's a 1. Okay. And do you have it in front of you? If not, I can read it.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's sorry, you said it's the 1?
It's a 1.
Okay. The culprit takes the opportunity provided by this distraction to commit another more serious crime. More serious. Oh my God. All right. So as I broke into the farm and started talking with the owner of Loblaws, who discovered the body because he was doing a food delivery for the farm, food pickup. It's a farm. So he was picking up the food to bring back to the grocery store.
Okay.
And while we were there, we heard on the radio of the nearby police car that another person was killed. Also, would be worse than a carpenter? Uh,
Like,
the local baker
okay,
has died. That's significantly worse if you're a child.
yes.
So yes. So it appears that the owner of Loblaws could not have killed the baker because he was talking to me at the time.
Okay, so the baker has corroborated the story.
Oh, the conspiracy! Sorry, I just suddenly
No,
yes,
it's
that looked so awesome. Sorry. Focus.
oh, okay,
Right.
no, I know. Cats and yes, the dice, ASMR dice. They're chonky and cats. Okay, so who is the next in the farm? Who would you like to talk to next?
Let's see then. Maybe suspect the rich developer.
Okay, so the rich developer at the farm. So I believe we
Yeah,
got to
maybe he
do
was
a.
trying to buy out the farm, you know?
Yeah, there we go. And I'm guessing we roll again.
Okay. So I'm getting distracted again by this
Yep,
talk of early pledging.
that's
Okay.
okay. I'm gonna roll
Stop
for
with the
you.
cat talk. Okay, yes, roll.
And just so you know, once we've used a prompt, we cannot reuse it. So if I roll that, I'll have to re-roll. So you got a 6.
6, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4, 5, 6.
6.
Your father, the famous detective Fenton Hardy, gives you some advice. What is it? How do you act on it next turn? All right. So as I was closing in on the developer, thinking maybe the farmer did not want to sell the farm, so it was easier for the developer to off him so that he could use the land for development. My father pulls me aside and then tells me that actually the farmer had intended to sell the land to the rich developer, but that basically now that he's dead, the land is going to be stuck into like, you know, um, whatever purgatory things go into until estates are settled. So
Right.
technically, killing the farmer would not have been in the best interest of the rich developer.
Absolutely. And I felt like it might go in that direction, actually. So I think that was wise. So you can see there, 2 black cards, 2 prompts. Very nice.
And the two prompts are supposed to be exonerating because the cards are black. So
Correct.
that's why we're going this way.
You
All right.
got it.
Your turn, brother.
Yes, brother. What do I want to do? Well, I don't know. I feel like location is the way to go right now. Because I mean, I could just randomly pick a suspect, but
Mm-hmm.
I really want to try a different location. I feel like the train station, if someone was going to make like some kind of getaway, I mean, you could easily blend into the crowd. So let's pull up the. See, the rich developer, he would have no reason to be at a train station. He's rich. Why
Yeah,
would you need to take the train? So I'm going to go to the rich developer
like that.
at the train station because we're doing location. So, and that is a black
Oh,
card.
that's big information.
Exactly. So let me roll this. Oh, I cannot get that one because it's a 6. Okay, a 9. I'm like, is that a 6 or a 9? Okay. Okay, so we're looking at the train station at the rich developer. While you're investigating them, a crime occurs elsewhere. What is it? Does it change who you think the culprit is? Ooh. So while I'm at the while I'm, investigating at the train station, finding out why would the rich developer be at this place? Like, he doesn't need to go there. He can afford to take other means. Like, what's going on? Something has happened. Something has happened at the farm, which is also one of our key locations. There's some trespassing has occurred. Some unknown person has trespassed. So we're like, could this be something that is involved in our case? Why would the rich developer be there skulking around when clearly he was at the train station, which I also find suspicious, but not suspicious enough for me to hold him. He says he was just there meeting a friend, having a conversation. So,
Right. Time out just for a little bit of like
yeah,
mechanics talk.
yes,
As Mandy mentioned, just a little recall that every row of suspect is seated with different number of black and red cards, and the guilty suspect is the only one with 3 red cards in their row. So the fact that suspect number 4 now has 2 black cards means that we know right now
yes.
that he is not the guilty party, meaning that we should stop pulling cards from him. Like, sorry, Mandy, obviously you know this, but just for the
No, no,
chat, because
no,
I
no. It's
think
good. No, no.
it's
That's
good.
I'm
Yeah,
doing a
because I think
lot back
Christian
here.
came in a bit late too, so I'm just like,
Yes.
yeah, so that's this is what I'm saying. That's really good information because we managed to pull 2 black in 1 row. So
Yes. And
that's
that's
very
kind of
exciting.
why I wanted to go that route. No, it's good.
Yeah, yeah,
Please
brilliant.
jump in.
Yeah.
Because I'm
All
doing
right.
a lot back here and I'm gonna forget stuff. So yes, that was appreciated. So yeah, so we can kind of be like, the rich developer, not gonna be the guilty party. Exactly what Steph said.
Unfortunately,
I know,
everyone
I was
is
really hoping
guilty
it was
developer.
actually. Okay, okay. So now that leaves me. We have nothing. We have not looked at Tony's parents, and we haven't really looked at the couple who bought the old mill. I'm gonna be honest. The couple who bought the old mill seems totally sus to me, but and interesting. So let's go that. And we're at the location as the train station. Oh,
Oh
okay.
my god.
I know.
Okay.
Also a black card. So let's see what we roll. Okay. Apparently I'm not rolling these very well. Okay, I got a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the person you found the evidence about gives you a tip about one of the culprits. Which one? What is the tip? How do you act on it next turn? So, the old couple at the mill train station, they're like, we frequently visit that place when we have family coming. We're new to this part of the town, so they're like, doesn't even make sense. However, I did see somebody. Well, let's take a look. Who do we have before I say somebody? The owner of Loblaws, who, again, someone who has a lot of money, has been hanging around some really seedy locations. Maybe he was trying to get the carpenter that was murdered. Maybe he was taking his services elsewhere. Maybe he was extorting them. I don't know. They've had some heated conversations, which were overheard by the couple who bought the mill because they wanted to reach out to the dead carpenter and they were like, maybe there's a little something heat going on there that we don't know about. And it got a little aggressive between the two, especially in a public area. Just seemed like it was cause for concern. So something we will want to investigate. So,
Well, based on that tip, I think my next turn will be stalking. No, it's not stalking. It's uh, what's the what's the actual term? Tailing,
Taylor,
tailing a suspect.
stalking is so much more funny though.
It's not the right term.
I know,
All right,
sorry.
so I'm going to start tailing the owner of Loblaws.
Okay,
So then instead of flipping 2 location card, we'll flip 2 suspect cards.
correct. Of that, in that row, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so which card would you like to flip?
I'm thinking the grocery store. That makes sense.
Okay, so that one for the owner of Loblaws.
Yeah, he would
Okay.
start his day there. That makes sense.
Okay, it's red.
It's red.
So
Okay,
different
all right.
die here.
Let's roll the die.
Okay, so it's a 6-sided die, and it's a number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Something in town gets destroyed. A building catches fire. A boat gets stolen. A train derails. Something of that sort. So what happened? Who gets blame? And on next turn, scope out a nearby location. Okay. So I think what happened was that the farm that someone got turned, like, yeah, the field just got fire. Someone set fire to the field.
Which would make sense.
And in the meantime, while I'm following the owner of Loblaws, I might have heard him say something shady about, you know, how much people were asking for local produce and him wanting to be the sole distributor of food within
Right.
the town. And
Definitely.
after he spent his day in Loblaws, our owner decided to go to the old mill. So I followed him there.
Okay, so the owner of Loblaws heading to the old mill. Let's see what we find. It's exciting. Oh,
Okay.
looking
All right.
so guilty. Okay, let me now. Ooh, it's getting spicy. That's a 6.
6. Their behavior is particularly suspicious. What do they do? On the next turn, tail them. Well,
Oh.
I can't really do both of those 2 things, can I?
No,
So I
on the
can,
next turn, I would have to tail them, but I wouldn't be able to do that. So we'll
yeah, so
just,
let's, yeah.
yeah, we won't do that.
Okay. Then as they go to the old mill, they walk around the building, looking in the windows, and then after that seem to be like scoping out the woods behind the old mill, looking at the trees. And as I get closer, I notice that these are apple trees. And it looks like there's an old orchard back there that's been sort of
Ooh,
grown over and forgotten about. Just
okay.
stick with the food team.
No, I like it. I like it. I like it. This is good. No, this is strong. This is good. And I mean, it's not looking good for the owner of Loblaws. I mean, maybe something will have happened that we missed. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to go back to that train station
I think you should.
and find out what's going on. So I'm not gonna tail the suspect in this particular case. We're gonna go back to the train station because there's just something there that just doesn't seem 100% right. And I think we're gonna start with the owner of Loblaws because he's looking kind of guilty. Oh,
Oh no!
oh no! We've been led
Oh, this is
astray.
bad.
This is not great. Okay, so I rolled a 4, but I don't. Let me just get back to my little clues here. No, we already used that one. Did I use 10?
No.
I did not. Okay. So you have to spend time working on something for school.
That's funny.
What is it? Does it give you any ideas for the case? Okay. So, um, I'm working on a school project, and the school project, has been, let's just say it's, methods of transportation of people, of goods, of services, how those are being used in a town effectively. Do you know what I mean? Are things being missed, or like, could that be a place? So this got me thinking, like, could people be hiding things or evidence in these types of places that are easily missed? What's quality control like? So I have a very large scoped project here on transportation that I've decided to take on, and it really got me thinking, like, maybe I'm not looking in the right places at the station. I'm looking at the wrong people. I'm looking at what we expect to be there. Maybe sometimes it's the things we don't expect, because if people have a business, they do have to see that their business is working, and that includes exporting, importing of goods, types of transportation that's being used. So maybe I'm just taking a different eye to why certain groups of people might be there. In this case, the owner of Loblaws potentially was there for that reason.
It's good.
We're gonna go with that. But now the last suspect that we haven't really looked at, are Tony's parents that own the construction company. And this is not great because Tony's supposed to be one of my friends here. So let's see what's going on there.
Explains why we didn't really want to look at him too closely.
Right? So it is also a black car. Okay, here we go. So I got a 3 for this one. Okay. The suspect has you over for dinner or a celebration to express their gratitude. What do they serve and how do they behave? Okay. So, I mean, Tony's my chum, my pal. Like, I spend a lot of time with his family, and having me over for dinner is, you know, not a bad thing. They're just happy that we're taking initiative into looking at what's going on in the town, and they're in the trade, and someone who was in the trade, was targeted. They're just happy that we're trying to keep people safe, and that we're on the lookout, and we're doing these things to prevent maybe them from being attacked or being a victim to this next crime. So, Tony, being from an Italian family, has created a large spread. They always do delicious, pastas and desserts. And, we get take home plates as well, because, they don't want us leaving hungry. So I think they're just celebrating the fact that we're taking the time to give to our community and keeping them safe. Even though we aren't the police, they appreciate that we're making those efforts.
Everyone's got a buddy named Tony. It's nice.
I mean, it's not wrong. Oh my goodness, what turn is this for us?
We have one more.
Oh no. Okay, Steph, you gotta pull a miracle out here, because actually, I don't think we can. We can't do it.
But we could if we manage to pull another black, right?
That is a good point. Because yeah, that's true.
If we pull a black from someone, we're fine. But I think we have to probably tell the suspect to add, like, increase the odds of seeing black on someone.
Right.
But I don't really want to tell Tony's parents because they just fed
No.
us spaghetti. Like, that's rude.
I know, right? Like, we don't want to
So,
be
you know
like,
what? That little couple who tried to put us on to the owner of Loblaws earlier,
yeah,
they
and
don't
it was
look,
wrong, by the way.
And I mean, there might have been a beef with the carpenter because, maybe he like, I don't know, cheated them on the Renault deal for their mill.
See, I feel this. I feel what you're saying. So do we want to do a tail the suspect?
Yes, we're gonna go check out the suspects, see if they're home at the old mill
The old
they
mill.
just
Okay.
purchased.
Here we go. Please, please.
Be black.
It is
This
red.
is red.
Of course
It
it
would
is.
be red.
Which is not exactly what we wanted, but here we are. And red is the D6. Okay, here we go. Oh, no, we got that one already. Oh my gosh, I keep rolling the same number. 2.
They're strangely calm and confident. How do you react? So I go ask them, you know, how they knew the carpenter, and rumor has it they didn't get along, and they're both looking at me, going, "Yeah, yeah, no, obviously." But plenty of carpenter in the sea. In fact, we're just talking to Tony's parents, who were putting us in contact with some good renovating people. So the fact that he turned us down actually worked out for us. So yeah, it's too bad he died though. Didn't wish that on a guy.
Absolutely.
Um,
Okay, where do we want to? Okay, so this technically is the last turn, but we're gonna see how it plays out.
one more step, but I can no, because I can still flip one more card.
You do. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so you can flip
Yeah,
another
okay. So
one.
that's the very last one, and it has to be okay. Let's go to. Well, what does it make sense that they went grocery shopping right after? No, I think they went to the farm.
That would ideally make more sense.
Yeah, let's send them to the farm. So then they drove away, and I
Okay,
followed them on my bike because I'm fast, and they went to the farm.
and it is red.
Oh,
I was really hoping. I mean, it could.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
let me
All right.
roll.
So yeah, let's get that last one.
It's a
5.
5. Did we pull 5? 1, 2, 3. No, we
No.
didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Uh,
Yeah, great.
and this suspect behaved very suspiciously when they're being accused. Which one? What did they do? On the next turn, tell that suspect, but we don't get a next turn. All right. So then the suspect went to the old mill, and in there, they ran into Tony's parents, and they started talking. I couldn't quite hear out what they were saying, but the conversation looked really agitated, and they kept looking around suspiciously.
Okay.
And now we'd have to decide
Yeah, who we want
who's
to
guilty.
accuse. And unfortunately, it would be between Tony's parents and the couple. We have no information on.
Tony's parents. So I don't think as kids we wouldn't accuse someone with so little information.
Yeah.
It's obviously the couple. They're new in town anyway. These four, like, it's just no. They're not. They're not trustworthy. Not
Yeah.
like the guy who fed us pasta.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. So, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, look, it's really 50-50.
That's true. That's true. That is
But for
very
the
true.
sake of this story, I do prefer it if Tony's parents are innocent.
I do too. So let's flip the card under the old couple at the grocery store and hope it's red.
Mm,
So, um, are we gonna? Yeah. So we'll just flip it and see what
let's do it.
happens.
Let's do it.
Please be red.
Yes, knew it.
So the couple who bought the old mill was trying to throw us off from the start. They were trying to, that beef between the owner and he wanted to give him more work, and he was just like, I can't do it. Like, it's too much. I know you're trying to help me in my business. So that's what they overheard, but it looked aggressive. So they made it seem like, oh, they had beef, when in fact, the old couple bought the mill too, because I believe it was murder, right? They didn't like
Yes.
that he was stepping out with the rich guy to get work. They weren't a fan. They're like, what about us? What about our contract?
Mm-hmm.
We take precedence. Sorry, I'm on a rant.
No, I like it. This is good. This is really good stuff.
And they said, the person has money, and like, what, you think that just because they have money, like, our money's not good enough for you? Well, no. And the carpenters kept putting them off, and it's like I'm overwhelmed with work here. I'll get you, and they're like, nah, we're not about that life. We need to be the priority. It's not always about the rich. So yeah, they got a little and I said, well, no more competition.
Now I was eating noodles. Okay, how did that happen? And I
Oh,
love it.
So that's a notification. So it didn't show up on my thing for some reason, but thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. And yeah, Christian's like, murder? Yeah, you missed that part.
Oh, yes, there was a murder.
There was a murder.
We were investigating a murder just now.
Oh, that's great. That's so good.
Okay,
So
this plays quick. This is kind of a
yeah.
nice, low key, fast paced thing.
Yes, and they did say that. They did say that it plays in that amount of time. Well, hello, Evo Machine. Thanks for popping in. So, I'll switch to the other screen unless there's anything you wanted to add, Steph.
No, no,
Okay.
we're good.
Yeah, just so you can see us here. There we go. So I'll switch to my mic here. So, great question, Evo Machine. It's a solo actually and 2 players, so you can play it both ways. I'll just pull the book up so you can see. So this is what the cover looks like. It can be played 1 or 2 players, solo or 2. So plays both ways. Yes. So
Don't we all?
don't we all?
Under
Exactly.
the right circumstances.
You got it. So in this case, we just take turns going back and forth, which is nice, right? Because then you can play off of each other for the story. I played it just last weekend solo, so I just had a little journal and was just kind of writing my answers as I went. So yeah, and it's as you saw, card based, and then you have a die for prompts, or you can make up your own prompts. You don't have to use the prompts that are in the book. So I don't know how much you were watching, but you can also add friends to it. We did not do that because it does make it a little more complicated, which is okay. But the way that they're introduced in the structure is not super clear, so I'd probably start with the basic version. So I don't know, Steph, did you want to add anything to that as well? I know you probably have some thoughts.
No, I mean this actually, it played very well actually because the rule book is like, I think it's really long when you like open it. You're like, what? It's over 100 pages. Then you realize that there's really like, hold on, perhaps like 20 pages of instruction, and the other one is basically a reproduction of a Hardy Boy book.
Yes.
So if you're not familiar with the source material, you can read it and really get in the spirit of things, which I think is kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like this actually. I think this is a good intro, sort of a more, yeah, it would be a good one with kids actually. So I might actually play this with my kids. But it's also like a good little getaway, and I think it's a good way to turn the spirit of those books, because they're children book, into a game. So
yeah,
well done.
exactly.
Also different than the usual. So
yeah, exactly. So I liked it because I'm not a huge fan of journaling. Like I like a little, but I prefer more like activity kind of choose your own adventure decision, even like a 5e based kind of RPG solo. I just find the journaling ones are good, but I have to be in the mood to do it. So the other ones I can just pick up and play, and it's just gets me rolling dice, and I like that sort of thing. So I know Steph plays. So for those who don't know, Stephanie does on our channel solo RPGs. So if you're looking to find more solo RPGs, Stephanie has gone through quite a few on the channel. I know she's got some hidden away. I'm sure she'll get to some more when she's got some time. Yeah, and I know you've done a variety on there. Like you've done some journaling ones. I know I'll buy a few and I'll be like, Steph, you need to try this and let me know your thoughts. And some she's like, yeah, it's great. And others she's like, it's not for me. And that's okay. Like that's why we have, we all like different things. So there you go. We played on normal mode and it just stumbled into our story so well that it worked out. You can make it harder by playing 4 rounds or easier by playing 6. It's your game. You can kind of take it however you want. We could have just kept going. Do you know what I mean? So, but you can see the playtime of this game. I think we played for what 4, and that's including explaining the rules. And it took what 45-ish minutes, if that.
I'm pretty sure it took less time to play than it took for you to set up the stream.
Right? That's a fair point, actually, because behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. So yeah, no, it's super, super quick. And oh yeah, D&D one shot, you'll be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is one of the fastest thing you can play with 2 people that I can think of, actually.
Yeah,
like a solo, you can back them up pretty quick, but
yeah,
like, this was very fast.
Yeah, because you and I have played some others before. And
okay, well, there was the other one we played at the convention, the critical.
Oh yeah, Foundation. That was quick too.
Yes, that is another one that's very quick. And you know what? I like that. that
Yeah.
they're creating some faster, because you know everybody's got like 3 hours for like per session, never mind
Right.
like the ongoing campaign thing. Like I think this is great.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So for those who are interested in RPGs, we will be Well, I can't speak. It's on our schedule on the Twitch channel, but we will be streaming Critical Foundation. When is that? At the end of the month, I think.
Yes,
Sorry, I
it is
don't have like.
definitely this month.
Okay, so I think it's at the end of the month. Check the schedule on the Twitch page. It'll tell you Stephanie, myself, and David, who had to leave, will be doing Critical Foundation. So we'll be doing that virtually. Steph will be running it. I am not usually the one that runs this stuff. I just have too much to do with the stream. But Steph will be running it, and then Dave and I will be the participants. So if you are looking for more beginner-friendly type RPGs, this might be one you want to watch. And I feel like it just kind of went under the radar. I feel like I didn't hear anybody talking about it.
Yeah,
So
I didn't really much either. I mean, to be fair, it's not really a solo game, so I may have just
sure.
escaped my general radar. But yeah, that I was very impressed with it, because the kind of RPG that, and again, just for context, that's one that Mandy had brought to a convention we went to in Montreal, and there's not that many RPG in general that you know you can open it and
Yeah,
read for 20 minutes and begin running right away
exactly.
with people. And again, it's one of those like in between time we open and close the box, maybe an hour and 20 minutes at most.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah.
It is very neat for that kind of shorter setting.
Yeah. So if you like short RPGs, we'll be doing that. And then we'll also be doing a session where Steph and I will talk about some of the solo RPGs that we're interested in playing. We both have large folders of games. You can see in this. So this is a picture of my room, but using a green screen because I'm in the basement. But those are just like a small smattering. Like there are many shelves that look like this. RPGs that I have yet to play. So we'll change that this year. So that is it for us. Thank you for James and Evo Machine. I don't know if it's first time chatter, it says. So thank you for popping in, Christian, and anybody else who popped in. We really appreciate you for listening, and hopefully you enjoyed a little taste of the Hardy Boys role playing game. I will have an updated version of this video on the YouTube. I will cut out a few things, and then that way you can just have a more streamlined version of the game. So, Steph, stay on after. We'll have a little quick
Yes.
chat. And yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk soon, everybody. Have a great night. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.